Now we have another incident that took place that's recorded here. We find there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. In verse 21 now, the same came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip, they tell Jesus. Have you noticed how Philip, the quiet one, he had to run and get Andrew, and he said, there's some Greeks here that want to see Jesus. And so they go now together. Andrew said, well, let's just bring them to Jesus. And notice this, when Andrew and Philip tell Jesus, here's the way he answered. And Jesus answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. You see, he's now in the shadow of the cross. He's conscious of the hour. What hour? Well, the crisis, that toward which he's moved, that toward which he's come out of eternity. Unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and he's come out of eternity for this hour. And you remember that he said to his mother yonder at the beginning of his ministry, mine hour has not yet come. He now says the hour is come. What is that hour? When he is going to the cross. And so these Greeks want to see Jesus. Why? Well, he's raised a man from the dead. And so he directs the attention of the Greeks to the cross. His conception of the cross was far different than that held by the Roman populace. It was to them a place of infamy and disgrace and shame, a gibbet where criminals died. It was the hangman's noose, the electric chair, the lethal gas chamber. And he became obedient to death, even the death of the cross. And why? Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it's written, cursed is every one that hangeth on a tree. And then on the third day he's raised from the dead, crowned with glory and honor, that by the grace of God he should taste death for every man. And for the joy that was set before him, he endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of God. The glory of God is seen in that cross. The time has come when he's to be glorified. And friends, he was glorified when he died for you and me. He was glorified when he came forth from that tomb. Mercy and pardon and forgiveness is found at that cross, and it's of supreme importance. Listen to him. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone, but if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. This is actually a very wonderful verse. The importance is added here by the verily, verily. Now, when our Lord speaks, it's well for us to hear. When he says verily, one time, it's very important to hear. And when he says verily, verily, two times, then it's of supreme importance. And here is a great principle that he puts down that's in the physical realm. You take a grain of wheat, and you can look at it, and you can see it, but you have to put that grain of wheat in the ground. And what happens to it? It dies. But it doesn't stay there. What happens is, it comes up. There is the blade and the ear, and then the harvest. Now, these Greeks had come, and they said, we'd see Jesus. And there are many today think they've seen him because they've read the Gospels and studied his life. Well, that doesn't mean you see him or know him at all, friends. You see, Renan, the brilliant French skeptic, he could write a brilliant life of Christ as far as the historical part, but when he attempted to interpret Christ, he's absolutely wrong. The fact of the matter is, he sounds rather stupid to have been the brilliant man that he was. He'd never seen Jesus, actually. Now, until you and I comprehend his death and his resurrection, we've never seen Jesus. He died a redemptive death. He gave his life in death that you and I might have life. This is a great principle he puts down. It abideth alone, but if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. That seems a strange thing to say to the Greeks that have come to see him. And he's saying it's more than just seeing me physically or seeing me in the gospel. The important thing is that you've got to see that I'm going to die. And he's put into the ground. And you say you can't see the grain of wheat. No, but you know when it comes up, friends, that there's life there. And he died and rose again. How important this is to see.